Today, we're going to talk through tonight's loaded slate, go over college football and NFL weekend previews, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. A kid in full hockey fit pulls up and sits right in front of you, and you can't see a thing. This might be more of a me guy move than just bringing your glove to a game. At least your glove is not right in the people behind you's face. I'm not trying to grow my bones anymore. My bones are grown, bro. I don't need to drink milk. I'm not a baby. You know who drinks milk? Babies and children. I don't put milk in my coffee. I drink black coffee like a grown-up. He ain't throwing a pick. If I could speak another language, I'd say it in that one too. It's time to dust off old Krabs again, take the less than half a pick, and f***ing cash would be tonight's. Tail it, fade it, I don't give a shit. I'm making money on it. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, the best BTL of the week, episode 812 piece. As always, hold the fry. Joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Bookit, today could be a great day to start. Go download Bookit right now on the App Store or Google Play. Go check it out. I promise once you do, you're going to use that puppy every single day, just like me, just like Jovan, just like the rest of the Bookit squads. W Bookit. Jovan, how we doing? Happy Friday.
Up and moving, Krabs. Empty ass room back there. The Krabs Studios packed up.
Yep, packed up. Kind of sad, actually. You got no Krabs sign behind me. You got no Dylan Cruz jersey behind me. No Joe Theismann jersey behind me. But yes, the pack rat has been picked up. I was just downstairs dealing with that, moving dumpsters and shit, getting it ready. And the guy just picked it up. Of course, they come right when BTL is about to start. That's typically how it goes. So, yep, that puppy is on the move, Jovan. Excited to get down there and do this show in person with you here in like a week.
Certain is.
We're right there. We're right there. Mike is cookie. Jovan, Mike, and piss. I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Jovan, Mike,
and that should sound good now.
Yep. Should sound better now. Yeah, guys, I'm red and sweaty. I've been moving boxes and shit for the last 24 hours. So this is what you get today. Be happy with it. This is the best I can do. This is the best I can do. Chat, how we doing? Happy Friday. Excited for today's BTL. We got a lot to go over. Let's move, let's groove. Let's go ahead and recap. Let's move, let's groove. Let's go ahead and recap squad ride last night. Let's go, Jovan. Let's go, Jovan. Texans.
Shout out Texans. Shout out that under squeaking too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Bills were just never winning that game. Never covering that game.
No, I think the Texans have the Bills number. I think they beat them last year as well. Yeah. So, look, I'm not a big DeMeco Ryans fan. I'm not a big Texans fan. I don't really know what they're doing, at least offensively. But got to tip cap to DeMeco Ryans. Got to tip cap to the Texans. They seem to have one of the best teams in the NFL's number. And that Texans defense, man, that's something to write home about. They are impressive, to say the least. Yeah. Right? Wouldn't you want to have that defense?
I'd give nut for that defense.
They are nice, bro. Like all facets, man. They got an all-pro corner. They got an unbelievable D-line. They're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. Sade, what's up, Beast? He says, Krabs, I hit a 6-man. You would have been proud of last night. 3 less thans. Let's go, Sade. Attaboy. Attaboy. Esto coming in with a resub as well. W Esto. Appreciate you, Esto. You're him. W's. Vibes are up today. Pretty good day yesterday. Let's go ahead and recap. And yeah, Will Anderson is insane. Speaking of recaps, that was cake. I thought I was pulling a fast one, Jovan. I thought when I saw that half a sack along with the 0.25 sack, both normal squares, I thought we were about to get a freebie. I thought that was a free bingo square. Nope. Not even close.
No. It got up to, there's a 0.75 regular square by the time the game was about to start. So
was there actually?
Yeah, there was.
Did they have all 3 up or just the 0.75 and then corrected?
They had the 0.25 and the 0.75. So like the 0.75 replaced the 0.5, which I assume was the regular line that was supposed to be up there.
It's so weird, bro.
I don't get that.
It had to be a bug, right?
Yeah, I mean, they do that with some of the squares accidentally, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of squares up on that board. Guess they can't be perfect, but surprising. I thought we were about to get a fast one pulled there and get a little handout less than, but I think he had 2.5 sacks last night.
Yeah, he did.
He might be one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
They had, Josh Allen got sacked like 8 times.
Yeah, 7 sacks after I said he never gets sacked. So
that was, I think Will Anderson was the one who got the sack on the one where he was running around for years too.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe worst sack of year.
Yeah, like a 25-yard sack after I said literally the opposite was going to happen tonight. Yep.
I don't know what he was
hilarious
doing.
Or last night. Can't make it up. Yeah, both 3-2 yesterday, Jovan, so nothing to write home about, but decent, sharp reports. Mississippi State can ligma. But hey, we move, we groove. We got a Sade Whiteman 5-unit sub. Wow, there we go. There we go. Come on now. We do have some early college basketball. I don't think I have any plays in these games starting up during BTL today. Jovan, do you? Looks like there's 2 games that start during the show, and one involves Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm good on Gottlieb and co there.
Okay.
But I think earliest game I'm pressing a button on or considering is probably that Wisconsin BYU game.
Wisconsin BYU?
Yeah, I think that's 3 o'clock maybe.
Yeah, 3 o'clock Central. Okay. What do you like?
I like Wisconsin.
Okay. All right, getting 4.5 against BYU. I'd certainly lean that way with you as well. If I had to play something in these early games, Jovan, as crazy as it sounds, I'm probably taking Gottlieb in Green Bay. Why do they only open up 15.5-point dogs? They are atrocious. And Yale looks really good to start the season. I know they're coming off a loss, but they've looked really, really sharp in most of their games. Yeah, they dropped a stinker to Rhode Island. Before that, they were destroying teams. They destroyed Navy. They destroyed Quinnipiac. That Bulldogs program is pretty solid. Would not be surprised if they win the Ivy once again. So I'd probably lean Green Bay there, open it up at only plus 15.5. And then the Utah State-Tulane game, I mean, I'd probably lean Tulane here, but do not love anything in those games. But I'd probably lean Tulane against undefeated Utah State. Okay?
Yeah, with you.
Dubs. All right. Why don't we go ahead and recap King of the Boards? We suck. We suck at King of the Board. We suck at King of the Board. I don't know what it is, but we suck at it. We've lost our fastball with King of the Boards. Not really sure how we keep losing these plays, to be honest with you. Any comments on the King of the Board, Geysermans?
Just can't get through the hoop, man. Whichever button we're pushing for that one, it's just not working. I'm
winning somehow, and I'm 1-3. So yes, we also need to retire Utah.
Oh, they're so retired. They had their 2
chances.
To be retired. That was it.
They have to be retired. It's time to move on, right? And they'll probably win and cover by 50 in their next game. Okay.
Probably.
Yep. We got to retire the sack squares. Why, LMNG? That's the first sack square I've given in months.
It's literally the only one.
0-1. Why are we retiring after 1? LMNG, I've never seen you say something positive, brother. Ever. Life's not that bad, man. Try it. See how it goes. All right. Hype train is moving and grooving. We got no whack packs getting involved with the resub. W boys, W no whack packs. Krabs, looks like you've been drinking V8 swollen as hell, brother. Dude, I've been running around packing this fucking pack rat for the last 24 hours. I was up till midnight last night packing that thing, wrapping up these picture frames in bubble wrap. I filled that pack rack to the brim, Jovan. I mean, that thing is completely full. We're going to open that puppy up and by the way, it takes 2 weeks to get down there. Give me a fucking break, dude. What is it, on a turtle? It's because of Thanksgiving, I think. I'm getting fucked over with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm going to open that thing up in a couple weeks and everything is going to be broken and destroyed. So cannot wait for that. Cannot believe I just spent all that time doing that. But hey, I gave it the effort, right? I gave it the old Krabs try, the blue collar effort there. And we'll see how it holds up. It's out of my hands now. You should have seen this machine, chat, picking this crate up, dude. It was insane. I sent Jovan and Goots a video. Like it's honestly incredible to watch.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch.
Can't wait to help you move all that in, Krabs.
Goots, you are 100% helping me move that.
Yeah, that's gonna.
And I will buy you. I'll buy you dinner for that.
Okay.
Deal. Deal.
Deal.
We got Risings get involved in the 35 stream streak. Let's go Risings. Atta boy.
Risings.
Atta boy. Yeah, I'm extra swollen today. I'm honestly sick as heck. I think I have COVID because I can't really taste much. Yep, pretty sure I have COVID. So, but hey, we're here. We got a great slate to talk about this weekend. Some are calling it slate of the year, not me, but some are calling it slate of the year, and I cannot wait to talk about it. But
you can't say not me. You literally said it. It was you.
Yep. Snacks. I got something, man. I can't taste shit, and I feel terrible. So, yeah, I'm moving to Dallas, BZ. Moving to Dallas right after Thanksgiving. So I'm excited to get down there and do BTL in person. I hope you guys are as well. We better get an uptick in energy in the chat once we're down there in person. The desk is done. We're trying to build out that studio right now. The boys are working hard. Goots, Yale in the background are working really hard to try to get that studio nice and ready for when I'm down there in a couple days. Honestly, at this point, crazy. I'm excited, Lancer Golf. It's going to be a movie. We got Matt Gauthier coming in 25 stream streak from Matt Gauthier. You're him. Let's have a Friday. No more cake. Yeah, W day yesterday, Matt Gauthier. Pretty solid day overall. So we'll take it. Let's keep moving and grooving. I hope we both have a 3-2 day or better today, Jovan. Why don't we go ahead and get right into it? Okay, no need to beat around the bush anymore. Yeah, the I-10 is crazy. You can shout out the Orlando golf trip for that one. Shout out. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Why don't we go ahead and hop into the sharp report for today, Jovan, so that we can talk about the slate of the year this weekend once we get to it. We got a BTL Megalodon episode today. We're going until 2 p.m. Eastern. Rumor has it we've got a Trent surge stream after this, so I can't wait. You know what else I can't wait for, Jovan? Betting on the Campbell Camels. Okay? Cannot wait to bet on the Camels today. Goots, how about some afternoon cake for you? After yesterday's afternoon play smacked. Also, we got a Lancer Auto Tail involved. Holy smokes. Wow. Sound the alarms. Lancer Auto Tail.
Haven't seen one of those in years.
Wow. That's a lot of channel points to lock in for an Auto Tail.
Oh my God.
Keep your eyes peeled, gents. Yeah, where was I? Betting on Campbell. After taking High Point last night, Goots, how about that cash? Better late than never. W 10-point win from High Point yesterday. I want to take the Campbell Camels against UT Arlington, Jovan. I don't know if you saw that spread. So you're probably looking at some better games, but I live for these ones. And we got the Campbell Fighting Camels on the neutral site here. So both teams are technically on the road. They're playing out in Utah for some reason. And no, that's not where UTA is from. UTA is University of Texas Arlington, I believe. So pretty far game for both these squads, Jovan. 3 p.m. Eastern start, so right after BTL. Campbell flipped from a dog to a favorite for some reason. Not really sure why, because – and did we get the Lancer play yet? I apologize.
Yeah, we're going to women's CBB.
Yeah.
That's free money. Shout out, Lancer.
Does that start like before BTL ends, or is that tonight?
Let me look.
Okay. Do some research there, Goots. Do some reconnaissance and let me know. W, the Perry Pod getting involved. This should be a 5-year streak. Yeah, how about a 5-stream streak there? Talk to me when we get to 7.
5.
Talk to me when we get to 7, Perry Pod.
Starts, 5 Central. They play number 11 USC. They're favored. I don't know if it's neutral, but could be a home game. I know it's home. Yes, they're ranked. They're 24th. Home game, they are -1.5 against USC.
Words. Lancer, man. I'll lock it in. Unbelievable. You're making me take women's basketball today on a BTL Friday.
Oh, they just got mugged.
Ooh, Notre Dame did? Should we just lock it in right now before we forget?
They just lost by 40.
Notre Dame did?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to lock it in right now before I forget.
I'm sorry.
Because I will probably forget after we go over the slate of the year this weekend. Okay. Let me go ahead and put that puppy. Lock it in. Notre Dame. Go, Irish, go. Basketball. Excuse me. Oh, here it is. Oh, they don't have – do they not have the game up? Oh, they have the game up. I'm seeing +1.5.
No,
I'm seeing +1.5 against USC today.
There's no way.
You're getting some CLV.
Krabs getting
On green.
WCLV.
On green. Put it in the Pickett. It'll be on Pickett. Are we still all good here, Lancer? I want to get confirms before I lock this in. Are we all good at +1.5? Are you not scared of that puppy? I'm ready to lock it in. You just say the word. WCLV, shit's hidden. All right, I'm in. I just locked in the Notre Dame Fighting Irish +1.5. Okay. It's being synced to my Pickett as we speak. All right. A little scared with that line flip, but you know what? I'm not going to overthink it there. That's an auto tail. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Let's get back to business here. Let's talk about the game of the weekends or game of the night tonight, and that's the Campbell Fighting Camels, Jovan, against UT Arlington. I can't figure out why the Campbell Fighting Camels flipped to a favorite at a neutral site here, Jovan. They are 2-3. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They just lost to Weber State and gave up 91 points. They've not been nice to bettors. They're 1-3 against the spreads. They must have played a game that didn't have a spread. And UT Arlington, much of the opposite, Jovan. They are great. They're 2-1 against the spread in games they played in that have had a spreads. They're coming off of back-to-back wins. They beat Missouri State, and then they beat Evansville on the roads outright as dogs. So a little confused as to why this line flips, especially considering Campbell is around 208 in the KenPom, and UT Arlington is sitting around 150. So on a neutral site, UT Arlington should be favorites. Thought that was kind of weird, Jovan. So I'm ready to back the Campbell Fighting Camels. I don't know if you've seen this kid, but DJ Smith, he's an absolute stud. He's from Dallas, actually. He was on Robert Morris last year. He's been bouncing around the block. He was at Little Rock, Bowling Green, Robert Morris last year. This year he's at Campbell, and he's averaging 22.5 points per game, Jovan. That is absolutely absurd. Absurd. This kid can score the rock. The 5'11", 150-pound spark plug, DJ Smith. He's about to go up, and he's about to absolutely obliterate this UT Arlington defense and get a big-time win for the Campbell Fighting Camels and get them back to 500. I'll go ahead and lock them in, I believe, on the ML is what I'm taking. Yep, minus 115. Yep. Shout out Campbell. Great athletic facility down there, honestly, and I forget which Carolina it's in, but great sports athletic facility down there. I used to play baseball tournaments. Is it South Carolina?
I believe so. Could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, don't sleep on their sports teams, man. Don't sleep. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Jovan, go ahead and give a sell job on your first straight bet here, my man.
The Knowles on the gridiron Krabs, which,
wow,
they've had what? Let me look. So I'm making sure here. Stanford, Virginia, and Clemson. Those are their road games this year, Krabs. You know what happened in all those games?
What?
They lost.
Yeah, they got clapped.
Don't have a win, don't have a cover on the road yet this year. This is their chance, and now they're good to go against NC State, who's the most inconsistent team maybe of all time. CJ Bailey is kind of leading that offense, and they look pretty similar to like a shit version of BYU's offense. Not that they play the same, but they're like overly reliant on super explosive plays. And now you're going to get an FSU defense that, despite how much the offense struggles at times, their defense has actually been really good, especially as of late, in limiting those. They've played closer, lower scoring games where the defense kind of keeps everything in front of them. And I think that's going to be pretty key in stopping NC State, not just CJ Bailey, but I don't know what's going on with Hollywood Smothers. He's been a little bit banged up, but I think he's going to be used in one specific way. I think FSU's been really good against the run as of the last handful of games, minus your Hokies, who have now turned into a new military school pretty much. But now I think the matchup's golden for them. And I think it's really weird to see them up to minus 6.5. I know NC State had an absolute disaster class last week, but remember the last home game NC State had, Krabs?
Yeah, was it an outright upset?
It was an outright upset against Georgia Tech, undefeated Georgia Tech. And you want to know what they were in that game?
What?
They're plus 4.5.
Whew.
And you're telling me Tommy Castellanos and the Knowles, who are winless on the road so far this year, are going in there and they're getting the full damn near touchdown.
Yeah, it's
it's moved. That wasn't where it opened. It's moved since then, and you're just now getting to a touchdown line. But when FSU wins, they're decisive, just like the Hokies. They either lose outright or they're dropping absolute nuck. I think you get a dominant performance from them against this team.
Yep. The look-ahead line here was 2.5. And after a big win last week against my Hokies, seems like Vegas is respecting this team again. Maybe Mike Norvell is feeling a little bit better after the James Franklin hire. Maybe his seat feels a little less hot as Florida State tries to finish the season strong here. Big difference between going 5-7 and 7-5. So if he can win out and make some statement wins here, maybe he can keep his job. Who knows, right? Especially because State is just so inconsistent.
Yeah, I'm sure he does not want his job security to come down to rivalry game in the Swamp next week.
No, probably not. Probably not if I had to guess. Okay. Gootsy, swing it around for me, will you? I love that Texas Tech play. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the Bearcats, Jovan. I know you're more of a Bearcats fan on the gridiron. I prefer their basketball team, their basketball program. And they're getting, now 8.5. Wow, WCLV. I wish I locked this puppy in already. I'm seeing 8.5s popping up here against undefeated Louisville. Don't get me wrong. We were at the forefront of talking about this Louisville program being back after they hired Pat Kelsey. And look, Pat Kelsey, great coach. They got a G League player on their team. They've got a lot of talent on this roster, and they got some of the best guards in the ACC this year. This Louisville team is a force to be reckoned with. But in this spot, on the roads, I guess technically it's a neutral site, but they're playing in Cincinnati, I believe, third arena. I don't know what the fuck that is, but they're playing in Cincy, so it should be at least relatively, a home crowd for the Bearcats, who are also undefeated. The Bearcats, man, they never get any respect. This team, year in and year out, they usually get off to a pretty good starts, and then they kind of blow it and fade as the season goes on once again to conference play. I'm a big fan of the Bearcats and their roster and their build this season so far. I like Baba Miller. He's really starting to flourish offensively. He's averaging like 16 points per game. The Florida State kid, I think he went to FAU last year for a quick cup of coffee, and then now he's at Cincy. He must have gotten paid the NIL bag there. He's leading that team. They got Day Thomas as well, who's a stud, the 6'1" senior. A lot of veterans on this team, and rare to see a guy stay at a school for 3 or 4 years like Day Thomas has. He's been there for the last couple of years. So let's reward him with a bet tonight. Let's back him. Let's back Mustafa Thiam, I believe is how you say his last name, the 7'2" behemoth, who's only a sophomore. This kid's a stud. He was at UCF last year, great freshman, averaged 10 points per game. He's got a little uptick in offensive output this season, up to like 12 points per game this season. I like this team. They got Chris Okur as well. Sincere Harris, a decent guard too. I like the build of this Bearcats team. They're gritty. They're scrappy. They got a great big. They got a couple really good guards. They've got some size. They can hang with this Louisville team. And I like them to potentially win this game outright and shock the world. But, Jamal, I'll take the 9.5 points. Are you kidding me?
No,
this game's going to be within single digits.
That'll be a good game. Probably one of the, I guess, not so sneaky, but one of the better games of the night.
Probably the game I'm looking forward to the most today, to be honest with you. Besides the Campbell fighting Campbells.
Of course.
All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Also, I'm now hearing that Bucky Irving is out once again this Sunday night.
Probably for a while.
He might not play the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's kind of the sentiment I'm getting.
Crazy. All right. Let's move. Let's groove, Jovan. I want to hear this sell job on Texas Tech.
Yeah, shout out Texas Tech. They had pretty big problem putting away Wake last night. And Wake, I don't know, they went cold from 3. Texas Tech did. Wake was like full court pressing for a majority of the game. We were watching some of that game up there during sweats. So they made life tough. And throughout like the end of the first half, early second half, Wake had control of them for a while. The difference is they just got the ball and started fucking running. And Purdue, I can't stand this like Purdue makeup of a team, but it's also like a horrible matchup against Texas Tech because Texas Tech plays no middle, and Purdue, as big as they are and as much of a matchup challenge as that is for a lot of teams, it's not really a challenge for Texas Tech because they have JT Top and they have other guys that defend well and kind of use their size to their advantage. So if there's any team out there that has like one singular big that can hang with both Cuff and TKR, it's probably this Texas Tech team. But they like to play in the half court. They don't really run fast. It's not really their MO. They like to get in actions with Braden Smith so you can facilitate. But here's the problem. He loves to facilitate into the paint, which Texas Tech does all of their might defensively to keep you out of. So I think this is a huge challenge for Purdue's offense. And I think this is where you see after last night was a pretty fast run up and down the floor game against Wake Forest. I think Texas Tech makes them win in the half court with their defense, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think Texas Tech is incredibly live in this game, and I think this is a game that's going to come down to the last possession, hopefully in their favor. But I think defensively, I don't know how Purdue is going to score consistently on this Texas Tech team. I think JT Toppin is going to have his way on the inside with both of those bigs too, which again look like a tougher matchup on paper than I think they really are, and screams a big Christian Anderson game too. He's kind of edging for a little bit last night. He had like 16 points, or kind of ended on that. Had a couple really bad shots, strange shot selection. This has to be his game.
Yep. Was hoping you were going to put this on your sharp report, man, because I was thinking about it and I'm like, I'll keep it as a coin lean. I'm sure Jovan will be taking this one if I had to guess. So good to see it on your sharp report here. Fading Purdue, fading Fletcher Lawyer, fading Braden Smith. I'm in. You don't got to tell me twice. Fading 30-year-old Trey Kaufman-Renn. Sign me up. All right, let's back that oil money down there with Texas Tech. What?
That's what Trent's adopted for the new name of his pen, Trey Kaufman pen.
Dude, that's the only college basketball player he probably knows.
Yeah, probably no more than 5.
It's actually impressive. That makes me happy. I like when Trent dabbles in college basketball because he hates college basketball's guts for some reason. He prefers zero defense, lackadaisical games, and 250-point games in the NBA. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. W plus 3.5 play there on Texas Tech. I'll be locking that one in with you, whether it's a squad ride, win, or not. I'll be tailing that puppy. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Can I take you guys to the gridiron? Please.
Take us there.
Okay. Give me the Rainbow Warriors. Yep. Give me Micah Alejado. Give me the Rainbow Warriors here, plus 3 on lands. Look, it seems like Coach has figured out how to win over here this year. They've struggled with that over the last couple seasons, but Hawaii's had a couple wins. I think they've had 2 wins over here on the continental United States so far this season. They're 7-3. They barely have some conference championship hopes alive. So they have a motivated squad, at least right now. UNLV is probably the most overrated 8-2 team I've ever seen. Sure, they can score the rock. Don't get me wrong. We're pretty big fans of Calandria. Overall, I know he was at UVA. Smartest move that kid made was getting the heck out of there and, moving to this high-powered offense. The kick and huck it. Don't get me wrong. The kick and huck it. But Micah Alejado, man, nobody's talking about it, Jovan, but this kid has been an absolute bucket the last 2 months. He's had like 3 touchdowns in every game the last 5 games. Absolutely absurd. So this might not look like the crabbiest play, but I mean, the total of this game is at 64.5. So there's going to be points. There's probably not going to be much defense played. I even thought about taking the over in this game, which is crazy. The total's up from 63.5 to 64.5. But instead, I'll take the Rainbow Warriors here, who have won 4 of their last 5 games. I think they absolutely expose this UNLV defense. I think Micah Alejado, this is a breakout game on primetime tonight on FS1. Everybody's going to be watching. They're playing in Allegiant Stadium. This one's going to be cinema. I want to fade this UNLV defense that I think is one of the worst defensive units in the entire country, to be honest with you, man. They are absolutely atrocious. I think Micah's going to have his way with it. And Hawaii probably wins this game outright. They keep their conference championship hopes alive. And I want to fade this UNLV team that just keeps on squeaking by, man. They barely just beat Utah State. Come on. This Hawaii offense is night and day compared to Bryson Barnes and Utah State. I think you're going to see Hawaii splooge with a 50-piece offensively in this game. Don't care if it's square. I think they win big with a lot of points. Rare fun bet from old Krabs.
Rare fun bet from Krabs.
Rare.
You don't get those too often.
No, you don't. But hey, we got a Sock Station play or Sock Station resub coming in here hot. Let's go Sock Station. Atta boy. Atta boy. Krabs, if you could give me a mock draft of the top picks in the NFL draft, who would it be? Sean Beasy, I love where your head's at, man. Always got some questions. I don't know if now's the time to go over an NFL mock draft on a BTL Friday when we got a million plays to go over. But if I was an NFL team and I was drafting early on, I would take Jeremiah Love. I think he's going to be a stud in the backfield. I think he's going to be an absolute machine.
Wow. The way you just gave Goots that early.
He's the best player.
I think he's going to be an absolute dog. I think he's going to be an offense-changing player.
Dog.
My God.
Vansor Delane, also a great shot as well. He'll be the first cornerback taken off the boards. Yep.
I knew we were not getting through that with some sort of Hokie reference.
I mean, look, man, we always have the talent. We got hella guys playing on Sundays. He's next up. Vansor Delane, if you guys haven't seen that kid play, it's probably because nobody passes to him. He has like the least passes attempted against him in college football this season. Nobody throws the ball his way. That's how you know he's nasty, bro. He's a stud. Hokie mentioned minus 500. Yep, cash the grease piece there.
He's so good.
W's. He's very good. Yep. Yeah. All right, let's move. Let's groove. All right, Jovan, you have one more straight bet here for the peeps?
I do. Talk about fun. Think this game's going to be fun between Arkansas State and SMU. Sneaky. I mean, SMU, I was shocked at what they've been doing so far to start the season, but I mean, they're averaging 92 points per game. And that's against some pretty bad defenses, albeit, but it's not just the points they're putting up. It's not just efficiency. They're running incredibly fast. And that seems to be their MO this year. And they get to play an Arkansas State team that wants to do exactly the same. The difference is SMU's had the chance to do it, I guess, against some of these shittier defenses. Some of these, I guess, not just shittier defenses, but really bad transition defenses, really bad rim defenses, which Arkansas State is. Just Arkansas State on the offensive side. They've played a lot slower teams up to this point. So it feels like as high of a total as it is, and as much as you've seen SMU splooge so far this year, it's kind of a buy low, I guess, on the other side. And I think when we have these two teams that want to play this similar type style, like sure, you're going to get a lot of transition ball and they have to make the shots, of course, but I think this is going to be a hell of a fun game. It feels like SMU is going to have a field day with this team that, I mean, there's only like 20 defenses in all of college basketball that are worse at the rim right now than Arkansas State. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon just because they're small, they're not physical, they're really bad in transition. Those are all the things that SMU has been looking to punish so far early this season. Unlike the last couple of years, they actually have the guys to do it. So this feels like a game that is going to be incredibly open. So I want to take some points in this one.
All right. Sign me up. A Jovan over. Let's cash this puppy tonight. That should be an absolute fireworks show. I mean, those teams don't play like a defense. Okay. Killer Jim Tom. Yes, I know. I had a square that lost yesterday. How about all the winners? Nothing? Cool. Mike Coop, I would take the Raiders in Survivor this week. I would not ever think it. Just fade Shedeur Sanders, man. Fade the me guy and make coins. You think the Raiders are losing that game after they got their backs blown out by the Cowboys in their last game? Come on. Raiders, lol, you're insane. No, I'm sharp, Snacks. I'm sharp. Yeah, just like the Mount against Maryland. Sharp. And looks like it already cashed because Timlin 210's wife already picked the Raiders.
Let's go.
Dubs.
Raiders.
All right. Let's move. Let's groove. And let's go ahead and get into some prize pick squares for today. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it, man. You've never lost a play or a bet ever.
Is that a more than on the card? Nah.
Yeah, it is because they took off my Calandria less than pick. So it is what it is. I was going to take Calandria less than pick against a Hawaii defense that just had 2 picks last week. But, hey, they took it off the boards. I wonder where the juice is loose on that play. But no need to waste any more time on it. It's gone. So we'll talk about it in a second. Let's start out with Hunter Huff, who is an absolute bucket. Don't get me wrong, Jovan. Hunter Huff is a really good ball player. I forget what mid-major he transferred in from. Correct me if you remember. But Hunter Huff is one of the best shooters and one of the best scorers in the country. 17 points per game so far this season. Chattanooga kid. Yep. Chattanooga kids. One of the better mid-major players in the country the last couple of years. He went off last game, Jovan. I don't know if you saw that, but he had like one of the best offensive performances I've ever seen. 24 points, extremely efficient. I don't even know if he missed more than 1 or 2 shots. He was an absolute bucket. Well, unfortunately for him, I'm fading him tonight, and he's facing off against a Clemson team that's not very good. A Clemson team that probably nothing to write home about, but if there's one thing they could do, it's play some defense. And Jovan, a pretty low total in that game, sitting at 132.5, down from 133.5. He had 8 threes in his last game, props and chops. Absolutely absurd. And now it's time to fade. The kid could not miss. Clemson, look, their offense, nothing to write home about. That's probably why this total's so low. But after West Virginia, who's 5-0 right now, has been on absolute fire but they haven't played anybody, Jovan. They played Lafayette, Lehigh. They played the Campbell Camels. They played the Mounts. The Mount hung around with them. I think they were maybe even up at half in that game, or it was at least pretty close. So I'm not worried about Hunter Huff, dropping another 20 piece in this game. I honestly think he scores around 10 points in this game in a very low-scoring affair against Clemson that's going to lock in a game with a low total. And I think Clemson hands West Virginia their first loss of the season. I almost took Clemson on the sharp report. I lean that way for sure. But I'll just go ahead and lock in Hunter Huff less than after a career game.
Sure. And on that.
Okay. Trice Picks get involved with a 5-stream streak. Let's go, Trice Picks. Attaboy. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Tommy Castellanos. Yes, I was going to take Calandria less than half a pick, but instead I'll pivot here to Tommy Castellanos since it's off the board. Jovan, I'm not crazy enough to take any unders in these two college football games today. I mean, these two games to me look like two overs, two fun games. Hawaii UNLV with a total of 64.5, and then Florida State NC State with that total at 59.5. Yeah, it's on the way down, but that's still a boatload of points. And even if it goes under, there's going to be some points in this game. And I'm aligned with you on the side. I do think Florida State wins this game. I think they cover. I lean that way. Castellanos has not been really a major factor, with his arm in recent weeks. He's been running the ball a little bit. I would not be surprised if he does that again today. But seeing that square up there with a pretty red chart makes me think he probably does throw 2 in this game. And luckily, that NC State defense, Jovan, is nothing to write home about, man. The Hokies beat them. They're coming off that big win at home in their last home game like you're talking about. I think it's a good time to sell high on the Wolfpack, who, sure, they got a couple decent guys in the D-line and a couple decent linebackers, but that secondary does not scare me really at all. And I think Castellanos throws at least 2 in this game. And he has not done that since October 11th against Pitt. He's coming off of 4 straight games with 0 or 1 passing touchdown. So sure, it's a more than, but it's a nasty more than. I think he throws 2.
Sure. I'm in on that. You might have to throw 3.
Might have to throw 3. And if he does, that ain't no problem.
That'd be nice.
That ain't no problem.
So nice.
All right. Apologies, guys, for the sniffles. I'm not feeling too hot right now, but let's keep moving and grooving here, Jovan. I want to hear your sell job on your 2 squares while I lock in the sharp report format. Wow. Smothers.
Yeah, I'll keep you in that game. Due to the game scripts and how good I think FSU is going to be against the run, I couldn't just sit up here and fade Hollywood Smothers in the run game after he quite literally had negative rush yards last week, and he didn't get very many touches against Miami as they were getting blown out pretty much from the beginning. I think they ended up losing that game by 34, but they're going to have to get the ball into their guys' hands, and I know he's been banged up. I know the snap share has been odd, but you got to go down with your guy. And I don't think they're just going to come out defensively and lock down everything that NC State has been doing. And I think if they're smart, just like we talked about, they just had a game against Miami's defense that's obviously better than FSU's, but similar type matchup where you have a really good run defense and your offense is overly reliant on explosive plays. So the issue becomes, how do you get something in the gray area in between? It's probably not running the football very much against FSU's defense. It's probably going to have to be CJ Bailey actually for the first time taking something in the short game through the air. And I think Hollywood Smothers has shown not only that he can be explosive on the ground, but obviously explosive in the pass game as well. If you look at a lot of his receptions, they end up going for 10 plus yards. So this could be something that happens on one catch, but I think you can't die again on the same hill last week of just letting CJ Bailey or making him throw the ball 40 times with no semblance of getting the ball into your best playmaker's hands. So if you're not going to have much success with him or any of the other running backs for that matter, running the football pretty consistently, you better dump off the ball and get the ball to them somehow. And I think they're going to do that. And then Keontae George Krabs. It's right out of your playbook. 2 straight 30-point games. I might be botching the stat, but saw a tweet. It was like the youngest Jazz player in history to have back-to-back 30-point games. So he's been splooging as of late. The problem is, look at some of the matchups in those 2 games, including the first one of those was a double OT game against the Bulls that had 297 points in the game. So talk about softest matchup between both of those games, not just that one. You know who gets to play tonight, Krabs?
Who?
The Thunder.
Ooh,
have fun, brother.
Okay.
Have fun. Especially because a lot of this has been, he hasn't just been strapping him up from 3. I mean, he operates like he wants to get to the rim. He wants to slash. Have fun doing that against the Thunder, brother. Especially because the game could get out of hand pretty early. So God knows if he's even going to play for the full 4 quarters unless somebody snaps. I think, if anything, their biggest matchup advantage in this game is probably Lauri Markkanen. So he's going to have to shoot a bunch of times rather than Keontae George, who's been the cog of the last 2 matchups that they had for whatever reason. A little different this time around. You're going to have a tough-ass time getting to the paint against OKC. And again, this game's probably going to be over by the third quarter. I don't think he's getting 20.
Okay. Love that less than from you, man. Now, we could chalk Hollywood Smothers. He's down to 13.5, so we can move on from him.
No, dude, move on.
Love the Keontae George square, though. And I already locked in the Sharp Report 4-man, so I'm going down with the ship on that Smothers square. But all jokes aside, it's W game script. W game script for him in a game they should be getting blown out pretty early. Is Hollywood Smothers okay as well? He only had like 5 carries last week in that blowouts.
Yeah. He's been a little banged up, but they're also just throwing the ball all game.
Yeah, kind of strikes me as a me guy. Kind of strikes me as a guy who's just trying to get ready for the league. So let's hope he's out there getting some reps in this game when it gets ugly. Let's hope he doesn't grab high.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore, so he can't get ready for the league yet.
Okay, good point. Good point. He's only a sophomore?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. I feel like he's been around for a while, longer than that. But all right. W Sharp Report 4-man. The link has been dropped in the Twitch. Goots, if you don't mind, you probably already have. Can you drop it in the YouTube for me, my man? That'd be great. Dude, that's actually impressive if he's only a sophomore. He's good. He's good. He's going to be playing on Sundays. Okay? Mark that down. Mark that down. All right. W Sharp Reports. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to some winners for the weekends. You gents ready?
Ready.
Goots, run that shit. We want to talk about the Hokies game. You see they're wearing the Hokie Stone unis. Fire.
The Hokie Stone unis?
Yeah, have you seen this before?
They're
think actually
so, right?
They haven't worn them in a couple years. But they're like gray and like, I don't know if you know what Hokie Stone is, but all the buildings on campus.
I've seen it. Didn't they wear, maybe it was that like special game. I forget what it was at, like not Bristol, but the other one. Didn't they wear like full Hokie Stone jerseys?
Yeah, that's what they're wearing this week.
That's what they're wearing?
Yeah, they're sick. They're maybe the best alternates in college football. We might need to get that up for the people to see their viewing pleasure.
Oh my God.
Because they're sick. Yeah, they said, and there was no talk about it. It came out of nowhere. I'm assuming the James Franklin hire, they were like, screw it, we're pulling out the sick alternates because they haven't worn them in a couple of years. And they are unbelievable. So big for the Hokies, who are, by the way, up to plus 18.5. So they're probably going to get their cheeks clapped. But anyways, they typically play Miami pretty well, usually. So all jokes aside, I probably wouldn't be fading the Hokies this weekend, but you will not catch me with an 18.5 point ticket. We can leave that game off to the side. Jovan, you want to start with some snooze fests? Let's start with some unders here that we like. And I'll tell you right now, Air Force and under, by the way, that should never, those 2 words should never be said together. Air Force and an under is a scary, scary bet, Jovan, because their defense is probably the worst defense I've ever seen. Their defense is really, really bad. But New Mexico is coming off a legacy game. And the only good offensive piece, actually, that's not fair because they do have a really good tight end in Fleshman, Bruin Fleshman, who's been a stud this whole season. But Liam Scarja, the quarterback for Air Force, he's out in this game, Jovan, and that is a big-time loss. If you've tuned in any Air Force games this season, number one, I'm sorry. Number two, you've probably picked up on this kid. He's an absolute stud, and he's pretty much carried this offense the entire season, Jovan. He's out for this game, so they're going to have their hands full. It's going to be a really, really tough spot for them. They're probably going to run the rock the entire game. It's not good for points against the New Mexico D-line. It's probably the best part of that defense. Hence why this total's down from 58.5 to 54.5 with the news of Scarza out in this game. So if Scarza's in, I'm not taking this play, but he's out. Air Force probably isn't going to score in this game. And I'm banking on New Mexico, who's won 4 straight games in a row, Jovan, to cool it offensively and pretty much park the bus in this game on national TV. It's a night game. How often do you get a night game involving these 2 teams on national TV? Not very often. So there could be some nerves as well in this one. And the spread is a little tight, though. So I do think it's going to be a close, low-scoring affair. No QB for Air Force, like I mentioned. They're not going to score the rock at all. And I'm not seeing a blowout from New Mexico here. That offense has not really impressed me a ton. Give me the under 54.5. The total's dropped 4 points. Grab it while it's hot.
Sure. I've been on
Okay.
that. Speaking of the West Coast, think another sleepy under is going to happen in the old Cal-Stanford rivalry this week, Krabs.
Wow.
Which there's one way to beat Cal, pretty much. Pass defense is pretty solid. The run defense is not. And if we're talking about what you're going to see from, I guess, the stable of running backs, but especially Micah Ford from this team, Elijah Brown's actually, since he stepped in for Goldbranson out of necessity, he's actually been pretty good. He's been slinging the rock, but they've had some pretty tough matchups to where he's had to sling the rock. And that's why some of the games have been a little more higher scoring, aka the Pitt one, but that one also had to do with the fact that Micah Ford was out in that game. So now that you're going to have Stanford, I think, playing a little ball control in this one, and they're going to be able to move the rock against this Cal defense a little bit. That's very bend but don't break. They're really good in the red zone, but they will give up a lot on the ground. I think this game is sleepy, and I also think the line is pretty weird that it's sitting at 3.5. And I think the way that Stanford is probably going to stay in this game is just that, and they're going to limit the concessions for Cal, which especially on the road for JKS, he's had a couple of really good performances, or where he's looked good, aka the Louisville game, the VT game. He looked pretty good for a majority of it too. If you take the ball out of his hands for a little bit, kind of shortens it up, and they're going to have to use Raphael a little more. I think this game is sleepy. I think this game is probably a lot of feet and a lot of empty possessions.
Is your guy playing in this game?
JKS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised you're fading him. Is this the first time you've taken an under in a game that involved your guy? It might be.
Might be.
Now, it is a rivalry game, so I do like the under in this spot, and that's Stanford offense, man. Putrid. So I feel like you're mainly betting on that. I could get down with a little West Coast under.
Yeah.
I could get down with it.
Things get weird out there in Stanford, Krabs.
What'd you say?
Things get weird out there in Stanford.
I mean, yeah, let's hope that doesn't mean an over. Total's down from 48.5 to 47.5. Let's hope it keeps moving. Ooh, prime time. Well, for me, ACC Network. Primetime game.
Yeah,
7 p.m. Eastern.
daytime game for them, kind of.
Daytime game for them, afternoon game. All right. W under. Let's talk about some shootouts. Let's get these over with. Gross. Let's talk. Ooh, hey, consensus quake. Let's go, Jovan. Love to see that. W collab. This game's going to get weird. I think it'll be close till the end, to be honest with you. I think Arkansas hangs. Arkansas has been bad. I feel like they've just given up on the season, Jovan. But hey, this team can still score. They still have a stud QB. They've lost every game for the last month and a half. It's pretty embarrassing. I honestly think they cover, and if they cover, this game has to go over. So Texas, I know their defense is legit. Sure, Arch has some work to do, but he's shown me enough flashes in those games against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Sure, he's coming off a bad game against Georgia. Jovan, it's Georgia, man. Can't look too much into that one. He'll get better every year, and I think he'll be better this week against that Arkansas defense that is absolute quail meat. You, me, Goots, LC, Trent, the entire squad, Rav, Preston, we could go out there and probably score, 17 points at least, maybe 20 against this Arkansas defense. They are really bad, and they're going to be bad this weekend in primetime on ABC, with Texas looking to get their lick back after that embarrassment against Georgia. They lost, 35-10, I believe, in that game. They haven't covered in a month. Texas, look, they need to win out, and they need to win big if they want to squeak into the playoffs. So they should have their foot on the gas the entire game, even if they're up late. They got to win by as many points as possible for the committee to maybe put them in the playoffs and squeak them in. So, yeah, go and give me points, give me the over, and I think Taylor Green and Arkansas can hang as well. If anybody can score against that Texas defense, it's probably Taylor Green and the Razorbacks. And look, he's still trying to put, good clips on tape as well. He's potentially an NFL QB, I think, down the line. So I don't think the Razorbacks offense is given up just yet, but their defense is bad enough where I think Arch and Texas thrive. And I love this team total. Cannot wait to hear what are the points you have to add.
Yeah. So, I just took Texas and kind of kept it to that, not just because I want to back almost specifically them after that disaster class last week, which you're playing Georgia, so you tip the cap to that, but it's not the same Georgia defense we've known. And frankly, a lot of it is not Arch's fault. Arch has looked pretty good for a majority of the game. He had a couple bad throws, took some bad sacks, but it's largely drops. It's largely bad execution on the part of the wide receiver room. But obviously a much easier matchup when you go and play Arkansas, not just because I think a lot of that stuff's going to be solved, but they're also going to be able to run the ball at will. Like, I think Wisner is going to have a hell of a day in this game. He's probably going to be in my demon entry for the week, but that helps bring a little balance to the offense. They talked about it all week. Sark was saying we need to get back to running the ball, enter a god-awful run defense, god-awful in all facets, but god-awful run defense. And with how Arkansas has played the SEC, like, as bad as they've been, they're competitive in every single SEC game. The only game they weren't really competitive, or the last game they weren't competitive, was Notre Dame, which wasn't even an SEC game. If you look at all the games, they're one-possession games at some point in the fourth quarter. The biggest margin of, I guess, loss they've had is Auburn. They lost by 9 in that game. So they've been competitive. I feel like they're due for a stinker between one of these games, last 2 games between Texas and Missouri. I don't know which one's going to be which, so I didn't feel 100% confident in keeping them in it, but I think Texas is going to bust offensively all over them.
Okay. Could be a 50 piece. And apologies if you hear the sirens outside. I don't know what the heck's going on. Could be a 50 piece here for the Longhorns. You agree with me, though, where, if they want to squeak into the playoffs, it's kind of a long shot right now, but they got to keep their foot on the gas and put up as many points and win by as many points as possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. W shootouts. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some blowouts. From shootouts to blowouts, and I've got a nasty one, folks. One that people probably aren't even thinking about, a game that people probably don't even know exists. And that's Middle Tennessee State at home, fading Sam Houston. Jovan, don't feel good about it. It doesn't feel right fading Sam Houston and the Bearcats, but money's green, and it has to be done. The Bearcats are coming off of back-to-back outright wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let the Bearcats get hot. It might be too late, bro. They have dominated their last 2 games. They beat Oregon State outright as plus 21.5 point dogs. I mean, look, that's Oregon State. That team is really, really bad.
Horrid.
Really, 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 really bad. And the team's quit. They look terrible. They beat Delaware. Delaware is a scrappy mid-major. That's an impressive win, honestly, for Sam Houston, I'd say, as plus 11.5 point dogs. They won that game outright, too. Their defense is playing well the last couple of weeks. 2 impressive wins for the Bearcats. Middle Tennessee State, on the other hand, Jovan, they haven't won a game in eons, bro. They are one of the worst teams in the mid-majors. But I believe this is senior night. They're sitting at 1-9 in this game. They're home. They've got a chance to end the season here relatively on a high note and get back in the win column. They just got clapped by Western Kentucky. They got clapped by FIU. They gave up 56 points to FIU, Jovan. I didn't even know that was possible, to be honest with you, and that's actually really bad. But Middle Tennessee State has moved up from -4.5 to -6.5 point favorites, Jovan. This is the weirdest line of the college football slate, in my opinion. Have to get involved and have to fade the Bearcats after 2 outright losses as fat dogs. It's time to fade. Bearcats might come in a little fat, happy place, and these kids are looking at where they're transferring next year. Middle Tennessee State, these kids might not have a team to play on next year if they don't get a win or do something positive in the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, go ahead and give me Middle Tennessee State laying 6.5. They should not be laying 6.5 points to anybody, especially after the Bearcats, or against the Bearcats after they won 2 straight games outright.
This might be a bowl game for the existence of the program. Loser should get the death penalty.
The loser should have to move down to FCS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That should be it.
Okay.
My God.
All right. I want to hear your sell job on, BYU. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest, Krabs. I know you probably at first glance don't love this play.
Well,
but I was looking at the line, or from what I expected it to be, I was kind of shocked because picture like all the line disrespect BYU's gotten all year. Like even last week. Last week they were only -3.5 against fucking TCU in Provo, of all places. You go back the last time they were on the road in a competitive game. Obviously, the Texas Tech game's in between, and they were plus $1 billion in that one because Texas Tech. But they went to Ames against an Iowa State team that was missing half of their defense, and they've lost like 3 in a row coming into that game. They were plus 3.5 in that game. And you're telling me they go into Cincinnati, nip at night in this game against probably an injured Sorsby, which is one of the main concerns of this game. Haven't heard really much about it, but he could barely walk the entire second half of last week's game, and I don't believe that he's 100% healthy. But regardless, it's a Cincinnati team that I think is better than Iowa State and TCU, and Add on to that, you get Evan Pryor back in the backfield. You're probably going to get Caleb Goody back, who's probably the most important piece for this offense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty shocked there's not a minus sign next to Cincinnati's name. I was pretty shocked to see that. But they're not going to be able to stop the run. We'll talk about LJ Martin. He's going to have a field day. And I would be shocked if there's not 3 digits next to his final rushing number. And Bear Bachmeier can add to that as well. I just think the Cincy team does not match up very well. The same problems that Josh Hoover, ironically, has with man defenses. Brendan Sorsby also has with man defenses. He's great at finding soft spots in zone, but against hard-nosed man defenses, they have incredible trouble, especially because the wide receiver core is not really built to destroy man coverage. So I think the rare time that BYU seems to be getting a little bit of line respect would be right here, right now. And I think they win this game on the backs of the ground game, but I worry about Cincinnati's offense being able to move the ball through the air.
Okay. All right. You know what I thought to myself when I was looking at this game earlier today? I said, I'm tired of fading BYU, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to lock in Cincy. Sorsby's hurt. They're coming off of 2 losses. You know, I hear you about the line. I don't know if I'm with you, but I hear you. And I would not have been shocked to see Cincy as a favorite here, but probably goes to show you what the books think about your guy Sorsby right now at this point of the season. I think he's probably a little banged up, to say the least. I'm sure he's going to play, but is he going to play well? Probably not against an underrated BYU defense. So, yeah, I'm tired of fading BYU. They're 7-3 against the spreads. It doesn't work. Time to bet on them. I'm in. And if you're fading Cincy, one of your 10 teams, sign me up. That's a serious, level of confidence you must have, fading your boy Sorsby.
Yeah, you missed last week too, but this is back-to-back weeks now.
Yeah.
Not fading Cincy, but fading team, real team, Frogs. But
yeah. Now, are you forcing this and hoping Cincy loses because don't they play TCU next week and you're going?
I mean, yeah, but what would I really root for that?
Yeah, I don't know.
That game's pretty irrelevant now for both of those teams. So
yeah,
I could care less. But this game isn't going to be as ugly as the TCU game, but if Cincy was winning this game, I promise you they'd have a minus sign next to their name.
Okay. All right. Is TCU packing up shop for next year? What are they doing? Can I get a pulse check on them?
Yeah, probably. Everybody except Big Joe Manjack. Huge revenge game this week. I'm sure he's excited about that. But, yeah, there's some questions around Sonny.
Wow. Like he might leave or he might get fired?
It won't be his choice if he leaves. I'll say that.
Damn. Okay. All right. I thought about taking TCU in that game, but Houston just keeps winning. Weigman just keeps fucking finding ways, man. Keeps finding ways. All right. I do lean your Frogs though this weekend, but I'm a little bit concerned about the effort levels on that sideline, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
After watching that BYU game.
Very concerning.
Very concerning. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some dogs that are going to be barking, folks. Let's talk about some dogs. Upset alerts. I mean, this is probably my favorite play, to be honest with you, Jovan, of the entire loaded college football slate this weekend. UTSA, a team we know is capable of beating anybody, losing to anybody on any given Saturday, right? If there's one thing we've learned about the Roadrunners, it's that they've had some bad losses, they've had some good wins. Well, you want to talk about good wins? How about that ECU win they're coming off of? My goodness, ECU just beat Memphis. Your boys. Well, Jovan, you want to spite fade ECU after they just beat them? Get involved, okay?
Yeah.
Plenty of room on board here to back the Roadrunners with me. UTSA did job against Charlotte. Good, they should. Charlotte is atrocious. But let's not forget they lost to USF and gave up a 55-piece the week before that in a sharp spot as well that I was on. That was a shit play. But again, this UTSA team is all over the place. They beat Tulane. They, get crushed by North Texas. They destroy Rice and put up 61 points against them. This team is all over the place. And the spread is down to 2.5 from 4.5 against ECU, who's playing their best ball of the season right now. They just beat the best, mid-major team, I guess you want to call them, the best group of 5 team in the country in their last game in your Memphis Tigers. Unbelievable win for them. Perfect time to sell a high, perfect time to fades. Now, I'm a fan of Caden Hauser. I'm not going to lie. I like this kid. I've talked about him the last couple of years, but I think the Roadrunners can outscore him. I really do. I think the Roadrunners can outplay him. They can outscore him here Total's at 62.5. There's going to be some points in this game. I'll take the Roadrunners, a team that we were very high on preseason, a team that has not done job. They're 5-5, but I like the momentum coming off that last game, the last win against Charlotte, and you have to fade ECU coming off that game-changing, season-changing win against Memphis. They've won 4 games in a row. Time to fade, and UTSA looks like one of the sharper plays of the weekend, down from +4.5. So give me the Roadrunners again. I feel like I bet on them every single week.
Yeah, well, if you bet on them, you better make sure it's at home. I believe the streak still stands that in American Conference play, ever since they joined the conference, nobody has beat them in San Antonio.
What?
That's
insane. They play in the Alamo Dome, right?
Yeah, tough place to play.
Cool stadium. Tough place to play. Tough place to play. All right, dude, cut the shit. Enough yapping about the Roadrunners. Buffs.
Coach Prime and the Buffs.
You don't think Coach Prime will be a little distracted with Shedeur playing on Sunday? Or you think it'll help him lock in a little bit more?
I think it gets him fired up, Krabs. Not only that, but like I probably going into next year, Coach Prime or not, we'll see what he ends up doing. But I'm on the Juju Lewis train. Pretty happy.
Okay.
And that's not a hot take. He's a 5-star recruit, one of the better quarterbacks they've had for a couple years now, to say the least. But he looked fucking good, and it wasn't really his fault. They didn't cover or didn't win against West Virginia, but he looked dialed in and different defense, like better defense, at least you would think. But by the numbers, not really. Like Arizona State's pass defense has been super injured, so it's not all their fault, but super injured, and they're giving up plenty of yards to the air, including like a lot of explosives, which is surprising. And the one place where Juju Lewis looked incredibly dialed in against, I guess, a shit pass defense, albeit, but across the sideline or down the sideline where Arizona State's been getting burnt for a couple games now, but he also looked incredibly composed in the pocket and getting everything out of his hands pretty quickly. He took I think a couple bad sack hold on ball too long with Shedeur syndrome, but he looked good. He's easily the best operator of that offense they've had since Shedeur. I don't know why they tried the Staub shit earlier in the year. He's the guy. And I think this is their last chance for them to have a big performance at home because they go on the road in a pretty relevant game after this. Now you get an Arizona State team that is yet to have the Jeff Sims game, Krabs. They've been starting them for a little bit now, and I really don't think the Utah game should count. They got blasted in that game, but realistically, they get blasted in that game with Sam Levitt or Jeff Sims. Jeff Sims didn't really play all that bad.
No, he didn't.
But now, feels like it. And a house of horrors for Jeff Sims. I think a lot of us remember when Colorado was at the peak with Shedeur, that Nebraska game where Jeff Sims was just god-awful. I think we're getting a similar performance against a Colorado defense has actually been relatively good as of late, especially in the secondary. Yeah. They're keeping things over the top for the most part. The run defense is still a little bit of an issue, and I know it's going to be a little different dynamic because they're probably going to get Jordan Tyson back, so I don't think this game is going to be too defensive, too low scoring, but I do think Colorado is going to be able to keep up, and this is going to be one that's interesting down to the end.
Okay. Fading Johnny Sins, back in Coach Prime. You know what? You know I'm the biggest Colorado hater of all time, but I like this play. Julian Lewis has been getting slurped on the feed too. I guess he stayed around. I saw on the feed he stayed around town during the bye week or something, or he didn't go home over last weekend or something. And Coach Prime was passing on.
I was reading up on it because like I was pretty curious to see like what the whole situation was. Apparently, he was getting shit on from like the coaches all throughout the year of like not giving enough effort, kind of being a me guy. And then I guess the whole Staub thing going to him instead of Salter was, or after Salter was to send a message. And apparently he responded really well. So like now he's got the team rallied behind him. The coaching staff loves him. He's locked in, dialed in. So I want to see it.
All right. And you get a touchdown to play with as well. Not like they have to win outright.
Yeah.
All right. Like the play. You know I hate the Buffs, but I do like the play. I like the spot. Okay. Rav hates the play. Shocker. Rav, good shit hosting the Surge Train this week, man. 2 for 3 on 4-man lineups for him. Good stuff, Rav. Good stuff, Rav. That's all I hear. Rav, how about your QB being a me guy, Sam Levitt? He's about to go play somewhere else next year.
Me guy. Sorry,
me guy.
Rav will like the next section. He knows what the next section is.
Okay. Sam Levitt might be a Hokie.
Yeah.
I'll say it. He might be a Hokie. Sam Oliver getting involved with a resub. 31 months. Whoa. Let's go, Sam. Sam, you're him. He says, let's have a weekend, fellas. Only option we have. Yeah, Rav. If he's rocking a Hokie uniform next year, you might have to give up the notebook, give up the get nice, and just move on to the NFL, brother.
If he's a Hokie, I'm buying that jersey ASAP, rocking it every single chance I get in the office.
Dude, I wonder who's going to play QB for us next year, man. There's rumors we might go snag Colton Joseph, the QB from ODU, which I would be more than okay with. That kid's a stud.
No, dude. You're selling yourself short. You got to go big.
Well, there's also a good chance we go out and get the fucking Penn State QB from last year, Drew Aller. He sucks. I'd say if I had to put my money on it, I'd bet him.
He's probably one of the better names in the portal. You also got to remember it's the ACC, Krabs.
Sure. Much like the Big 12, a lot of points, worse defenses, right?
Yeah. Aller would be fine there. Could go get Sam Levitt. Could get Sorby.
Yeah. Bro, we got a boatload of 4-stars there this weekend. I think that's also why they might have dusted off the Hokie Stone unis. The recruits love the Hokie Stone unis. They do. All right.
I just looked at those, by the way. Those are fire.
They are fire, bro.
Yeah, here they are.
Let's go, Googs.
Also, Krabs, what are the odds? I don't really know what years to go here, but get to the national championship in the next 10 years.
Better chance than the Athletics do winning a World Series. That's for sure.
I don't know if they do.
I don't know about that.
I'll say it.
You're telling me the odds of the Hokies to get to the Natty compared to the A's winning a World Series? I take the Hokie Natty odds. We have a path in the ACC.
I think just due to the structure of the playoff, like if you were to book two of them, like you'd have the better odds. But if you're asking me which one I would bet, it's not even conversation.
Okay. You cannot tell me those uniforms aren't some of the cleanest alternates you've ever seen.
Yeah, those are so fire.
Those are fire.
That's not dream time.
The helmets. I don't see Salisbury rocking Hokie Stone unis.
Would be weird.
See Dan Quinn. Okay. Dan Quinn looks older in that picture of him playing football in Salisbury with his bald ass head. He looks older in that viral picture than he does now. It's crazy. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Enough yapping about the Hokies. So fucking bricked. I still cannot believe we got James Frank.
Yeah, it's actually so sick.
So sick. So good for the program. And just all the Penn State accounts on Twitter are just coping left and right. I've never seen a fan base so excited that a coach gets fired, so happy that a coach gets fired. And then all of a sudden, when he goes to his next school, they're like, oh, VT downgrade. I've never seen a school hate on a coach in a school more. They acted like they wanted him out of here. They chased him out. They're just coping, man. I think they're realizing that they're not going to get someone better.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that, like, I just couldn't get it. Like, James Franklin is a great coach, and sure, he couldn't get it done at the big games at Penn State. What's your better option?
Yeah, who are they going to get in the offseason that's better than James Franklin?
Yeah, like the only name that they're obviously not getting, but like the only name that I think
Lane Kiffin
be, like objectively better is Lane Kiffin. And they're obviously it's not an option.
He's going to Florida, LSU, or he's staying home. I don't get it, right? Saban, right? If they could pull Saban out of the grave, he's not going to Penn State.
No shot.
Come on. If he's coming out and going anywhere, he's going to the SEC. You break. Coach Hartline, yeah, you want a wide receiver coach? Give me a break, dude.
Yeah.
He's done a great job at Ohio State. Don't get me wrong. You think he's ready to be a head coach? Come on.
I mean, probably is, but I don't know why. I don't know why he would go there, nor like why would they want that? They already have half of Ohio State's sloppy seconds, and it's not going right.
If you had to choose what school Lane ends up at, what school would you pick? I mean, my brain tells me Florida, but my gut tells me LSU. I got a weird feeling he's about to end up at LSU. Weird feeling.
I'd say it will.
Snack saying he's staying put.
He's staying.
Goose thinks he's staying. Jovan, what do you think?
Kind of think he's staying too.
Okay. I kind of hope he stays as well, man. It's good for the school. They need something positive down there, man. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Are we talking about some meat? Time to talk some meat. Wow. Speaking of the Gators.
Speaking of the Gators.
Yep. think they win this game against Tennessee. Love Joey Aguilar. Said that this team was going to be a playoff team before the season. They got to win this game. They got to win out if they want any chances of that actually happening. Big fan of Joey Aguilar in this Tennessee offense, but probably a bigger fan this weekend of that Florida defense, looking to stop the bleeding after 3 straight losses. Look, these guys are still trying to impress their next coach, maybe hang around Florida. A lot of these kids will probably want to stay. If not, they need to put on some good tape for wherever they're going next year. So that tells me Florida's not going to quit. They're not going to give up. And they've had some tough matchups the last couple of weeks. Georgia, they hung around, they covered, they lost by 4. The Kentucky game was a joke, but that was on the road. They lost to Ole Miss, but they covered plus 10.5. They lost by 10. Florida's hanging around. They're doing job. They've covered 2 the last 3 weeks against 2 really good teams. I think they make it 3 out of 4 here, Jovan, this weekend against Tennessee. Lights are bright, prime time on ABC. I think they could play spoiler here and knock Tennessee's playoff chances out the window. I think they can win this game outright, to be honest with you. This is going to be a Lagway legacy game. Total's at 57.5. There's going to be some points in this game. The total's up 2 points as well. But I do think the X factor in this game at the end of the day is I'll take Florida's defense over Tennessee's defense any day of the week and twice on Saturday in this scenario. I'll take the Gators here to keep it within 4 points. Short spread, and for good reason. Hilarious spread, to be honest with you. But look, that roster is still filled with talent. They might not have a coach, but they're still filled with talent. It's getting 4 points at home, sitting at 3-7 against the 20th ranked team in Tennessee coming into town. Just smells like an upset. And I want to get involved.
Yeah, I was looking at this game, and I'm a sucker for, I guess, Gator spots in the swamp. My gut didn't really scream at me this one, but looking at the line, I mean, this is one of the crazier lines in the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
Not only like Florida's in the swamp, sure. Tennessee's had troubles in the swamp, and Florida's played them well against Heupel mostly anyway. But I mean, Florida's missing 20 plus players, maybe more. It seems to pile up at every point a day up leading up to the game. And Lagway has got incredibly weird squares up on PP. Like something's shaking in this game. Vegas knows something. You're probably on the right side.
Yep. Has to be bet. All right. Pitt Panthers, one of the biggest surprises of the college football season. Jovan, their coach said last week before the Notre Dame game, pretty much, we don't give a shit about this game. We're worried about next week. Well, now we're at next week. And do you think they could pull off an upset in this game?
Yeah. And speaking of another line that looks hilarious, Georgia Tech's in Atlanta, mind you. And only 2.5 favorites in this game.
Yeah.
That looks like one of the easiest bets on the board.
Yep.
But Pitt, the game didn't matter last week, and it looked like it on the field because it looked like their offense had no plan. Credit to Notre Dame's defense because we were talking about that. Like, sure, the offense had every advantage in the world, but the defense looked locked in. They put Heinzel in absolute hell. He had no idea what he was doing in the pocket for a majority of that game. And even they had Desmond Reed back for only that game, it seems. He's questionable for this game. It doesn't seem like he's going to play from everything I've been reading, and looked pretty bad when he exited the game. But they had Desmond Reed for that game, their best weapon on offense, and they still had nothing against that Notre Dame defense. It almost looked like they didn't even prepare a scouting report. That's how little the game mattered. Now you come against the Georgia Tech defense that I think the dam's starting to break on this team, Krabs. We had the NC State loss on the road. You could tell one of those spots was coming. It had been a couple weeks, or they're kind of edging, playing these close games, and then they get back towards the end and win the game. They find a way. They didn't against NC State and your guy CJ Bailey. They followed that up with a game that should have been a pretty easy bounce back spot. Talk about a team that's missing a million guys like Florida. They played Boston College in Chestnut Hill, a team that is quite literally missing more than half of their roster. And they needed an insane comeback to win that game by 2 as 20-point favorites, maybe more. I don't remember exactly what the line was in this game, but it was something around there. The defense is a problem. They've given up now 36 points in that Boston College game, and I think they gave 48 to NC State. Now Pitt gets a much more advantageous defense to play against. Notre Dame had them in hell because they couldn't stay out of the backfield. Georgia Tech doesn't get into the backfield. Add on to that, you have a whole different set of weapons now. They haven't really been able to scout for. Jacoby Turner is probably going to be a guy to the backfield, super explosive. Rap's been joking. Heinzel is going to get his legs loose. I think this offense is going to have their way with that Georgia Tech defense. And we've been kind of dancing around the breaking point for this team for a while. Now that they already have a loss under their belt, a shit performance after that. And mind you, this is a huge game in the ACC right before the Georgia game. I think this is the spot where they get got again. This feels incredibly similar to the NC State game, except Pitt's coming into your house and taking this one.
Yep. just an absurd line. I think this line might even be weirder than the Florida line, I'll be honest. Because the line says Pitt should be a favorite on a neutral, which is just insane. Come on. I think Vegas is tipping their hand here. Love this play from you. I don't want to spend any more time on it because we're going to pick up the tempo and the pace, but love Pitt this weekend. I think I saw SVP is on this as well last night when he was going over his picks. And he's pretty sharp. He's usually on the same picks that we are. So Pitt Panthers, WACC. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some squares really quick here, Jovan, like 1 or 2 sentences. Rocco Becht, he's thrown like 7 picks in the last 3 weeks, dude. Absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw that, but we got on the square as well, taking the less than a week or 2 ago, and he threw a pick again in that game late. So I'll go back to the well. I didn't hear no bell. And against that Kansas defense that is nothing to write home about, I'll take his less than half a pick in a game where they're favorites in. I think Iowa State does win this game. They stopped the bleeding last week and finally got a win. They got off the schneid. I like their confidence. I like their momentum. And Rocco Becht is going to be an NFL QB in a couple years. Still young, but after throwing 7 picks in his last 3 games, I think he keeps a clean stat sheet in the turnover column here in this one against the Jayhawks, who are just on fumes at this point. They've lost 2 of their last 3. So Rocco's due for a good game. And Pavia, I mean, this just has to be taken. Jovan, if they win this game, if they cover this game, if Pavia goes off, it's going to be with him using his legs because the guy's just not that good of a QB. I will take Pavia less than in this spot against Kentucky. Kentucky probably covers this game as well. I like the under in this game. Kentucky, low-key, has some serious momentum as their coach honestly probably tries to get an upgrade and go somewhere else after this season. They are still playing really hard right now. They've won 3 straight games in a row. And we know Kentucky always has some solid cornerbacks. They always have a pretty decent secondary. They got guys going to the league every other year, and nobody really talks about it. So Pavia is going to have a tough time through the air in this game. A little bit of a fat, happy, complacent spot here for Vandy, a team that has a lot of pressure as they keep their college football playoff hopes alive. I'll take him to throw less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. If he scores, it's going to be with his legs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Kentucky might win that game too. That's an honorable mention.
I agree. Richie said, Lancer Golf said, rumors Notre Dame women are favorites on the Green Book now. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's go. Huge. All right. Jovan, give me your quick sell jobs here on your squares.
Yeah, 2 running backs. Drop Nuck. Already talked enough about the BYU one. I think the run game dominates in that one since his run defense is terrible. The biggest threat to that square, I can promise you, is not Cincinnati's run defense. It's probably Bear Bachmeier's legs because there's probably going to be enough go around, but they're both going to be pretty active in this game. I'd be stunned if there's not 3 digits next to his rushing total by the end of the game. And then Darius Taylor, who's back and healthy, Krabs, and he gets to play a shit run defense that I pretty much fade almost every week. And I do it in the demon entry when possible because Northwestern's run defense is not great, but they also play in the secondary to where they're super backed up. So I either take the running back or I take somebody in the short game because they let everything in the short game kind of go. Darius Taylor, this has gotten bumped up pretty fat, but he's back and healthy. Got his first taste of action against Oregon, which was a much tougher matchup, obviously, last week. Now you get an advantageous one where I do think they're pretty live in this game, too. And I think this is one of the reasons why. I think they're going to run the shit out of the rock, and he needs like a stamp of a huge performance because he really hasn't had one in Big Ten play. A lot of that's because of injuries, but now he's on the field. Now you feed your guy.
Yep. Darius Taylor, also an NFL running back. We'll see. Stud. All right. Honorable mentions. I like Kentucky, like you were just talking about, plus 8.5 against Vandy. Give me Temple plus 9.5 against Tulane after their coaches came out and talked about how much their team sucks. I love John Sumrall. I don't love that move. Why would you say that? You got a bunch of kids on your team. They're not going to like that move. They're not going to get up for that game, and they're probably not feeling very confident. And then I love, Goots, put your earmuffs on, love the Terps this weekend at home against Michigan, getting 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, Goots. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but on that.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. Give me the Wolverines.
Okay. How'd the Goots POD go last night? I forgot to recap that.
Not good, Krabs.
Okay.
They showed some heart, but blew it late. Travels just unbelievable out of the Lobos.
But travels.
They were fighting.
Yeah, they were fighting.
Okay. You can't cap that. You can't cap the travels.
Can't cap the travels.
You had two Goots PODs last night?
No. I mentioned the Chiefs, but now it looks like Riley Leonard might play. So I'm
No, they just announced that Daniel Jones is going to play.
Oh, they did? Okay.
You're making
I saw a tweet this morning of the injury report, but all right. Yeah, still Chiefs. I like
That's just Notre Dame Twitter for you, Goots.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I need to see Riley Leonard play football again.
I know. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. We got to pick up the tempo and the pace. We've been milking this college football Saturday. Hey, I don't blame us. It's a loaded slate of year. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Goots, do me a favor. Run that shit. I'm trying to see Tyreek Hill. All right. Let's talk about some professionals. Enough talking about the kids. Snooze fests. Some unders. I'm in love with this under in Arizona this weekend. Thought about taking Arizona, and I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, Krabs, what are you doing? Jacoby Brissett just set an NFL record last week for the most completions. He looks great right now. He has a 1.5 passing touchdown square Jovan that cannot be more green. I thought about taking that less than for the Sharp report or for the weekend preview. We get to the squares here in a moment, but I have another square I like even better in that game. We'll talk about here in a sec, but give me the under. Jags are coming off a big-time win. Jags are, hey, don't let them get hot. Don't let Liam Cohn and co. get hot. It might be too late. They've won 2 of their last 3. They put up 30 points on average, a little bit more than 30 points combined in their last, or on average in their last 3 games. Their offense is starting to click. Tootin's starting to score. He's been a factor on the ground game for this team. It's time to fade the Jags offense after they've looked sharp the last 3 weeks, Jovan. And I want to back Jacoby Brissett to struggle for the first time in a couple weeks here. I'll take the under in a nasty, nasty game. I think a lot of pressure here. Lights are bright for Trevor Lawrence and co. And Jacoby Brissett, after having 1 million completions last week, will struggle a hair against this underrated Jags defense that nobody talks about.
Certainties. I don't know how much I have to really sell this under because it's the most obvious looking one on the board, super low total. But look at these two teams. I'm with you, and I'm sure you'll talk about it in a little bit. I think the Raiders are going to win this game. How are they going to do it? Probably with Daniel Carlson, to be honest with you, because you saw the numbers. Genty didn't even get double rushing yards last week. You're going to have to throw the ball a lot, and that's against a front seven that's going to have Geno Smith in absolute hell. So I think the game plan is going to be incredibly conservative, especially with Shedeur on the other side, who I think is going to have his fair share of troubles too against this Raiders defense. So I think this is going to be a lot of feet in this one. I'll probably take some Carlson and I guess even Browns kicker squares in this game, but it's going to be P for a lot of it. I think the Raiders are smart enough on that vein to make Shedeur beat them and not put Geno in risky situations, especially against that defense where you're going to be playing a lot of man. So you're going to have to get the ball out of his hands quick. You're going to have to hit one deep shot in the game. That's going to be how they win the game or how this game gets tilted in their favor. I do not think it's going to be with consistent offense.
Okay. You don't want to just take the Browns team total under?
No, not really. Okay. I'll keep them both in.
All right. I mean, this total is ridiculously low for an NFL game in 2025. Probably a good sign for the under. Yeah. Okay. I think the Raiders absolute belt to ass the Browns here in this game. But we'll talk about it in a moment. We'll talk about it. Gootsy, let's go to my least favorite segment of the show. How about an over in the NFL? I do like this one, though. Burrow back. Rumor has it Burrow might be back in this game.
Potentially.
It's a win-win offensively for the Bengals. Either he's back and he picks up where he left off as being one of the best, quarterbacks in the NFL, or it's Flacco get another chance to prove himself and try to earn a starting job next season. Either way, you're getting points in this game. Drake May projected 26 fantasy points as well this week, which is just absolutely absurd. It might be square. Don't really care. This game to me feels like an absolute shootout, and both teams are coming off of unders in their last game. Could be a good time to buy low on the offenses with a total up to 47.5 to 51.5. Crazy total for this game. Give me points. This should be the game of the weekend.
Game of the weekend.
I think the Bengals could win outright potentially as well, but prefer points.
That would be something.
No chance they win or cover if this game doesn't go over, so I'll just take the over.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. And on that, I'll take Jameis over. Still I die. And he's back in the saddle again today, or this week, sorry. And they're playing the Lions, who played. I mean, there's been a lot of bad primetime games. That one's probably up there with Raiders-Broncos because that was god-awful. Outdoors against that tough Eagles defense. Giants defense, not only can you run all over them, but they just haven't been good in multiple facets, even though I guess they were good at parts against the Packers, and injuries probably had to do with that. But Everybody loves the bounce back narrative for the Lions every single time they lose. I think it applies here, even against Jameis, who I so dearly love. But they're going to drop Nuck on that Giants defense.
Yeah,
I think they're going to score 40 points. Jameis is also going to sling it, and this kind of feels like the game where it's very boom or bust for Jameis, which technically is every game. But last week we had a pretty conservative game plan because it was getting pretty windy out there in Green Bay. Now he's slinging rock. You're probably going to have a couple touchdowns, a couple deep shots, especially against like press man that Lions run a lot. And there's probably a pass going the other way for 6 in this one for Jameis after he avoided it for a week.
Yep. He fucked us last week on his, was it pass completion square?
Pass attempts. Got us the over, but no pass attempts because they ran the ball a billion times.
Let him huck it, man. What are we doing? Let Jameis huck it.
Indoors in Ford Field. He'll be hucking.
He'll be hucking. When they're down 14 early, he'll be hucking.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right. I'm down to take that deal, Godsend. Nick Hennessy said if Shador throws 2 touchdowns, Krabs spins the wheel. Godsend said if Shador throws 2 touchdowns, Krabs spins the wheel. If he doesn't, Nick Hennessy donates 5 subs. I'm in for that. I'm in for that deal. Let me know if you are, Nick Hennessy. We'll get pen to paper. College of Biblical Studies won the second half 44-40 yesterday. Not a hip about it. Okay.
Dude, they play every day. It's unreal.
They might have 20 games already under their belt this season.
I actually need to look. It's like every other day they're playing, and they actually didn't lose by 20 last night. It was a pretty close game for their standards.
Good for them.
Shout out to them.
All right. God, we got so much great college basketball in today, this upcoming week. Cancel Thanksgiving, folks. We got loaded college basketball slates. Cancel it.
Sure.
Let me know, Nick Hennessy, if you're in for that deal. Just say the words. The Bolden said, I hate JD5 like you hate Shador. I've never heard of anybody hating JD5. I've heard Cowboys and Giants fans say they like JD5.
Yeah, JD5 is such an unhateable.
He's the most likable guy of all time. Nick Hennessy, you don't have to DM me, man. You could just let me know right now in the chat. He said, you know what? I don't even think he throws 2 touchdowns, and I'll stand on it. All right, let's make that deal, Nick Hennessy. Just let me know if you're in. Little handshake. Shador throws 2 touchdowns. I'll spin the wheel. If he doesn't, you drop 5 subbies on Monday. You in? In or out? Let me know. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Jovan W. Overs. Already did. All right. W's. Nick, I'm in. You got yourself a deal. Let's talk about some blowouts. Let's keep moving, Gootsy. Let's talk about some blowouts that we like. Wow. Sound the alarms. How about a consensus quake? Okay. Jovan, at some point, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, the Chiefs have to sack up and lock in and get a big-time win. It's now or never. They're sitting at 500 right now. They're outside of the playoff picture for the first time in the last, 7 years. Insane. Well, luckily for them, they get the most overrated NFL team in the league at home this weekend. And the books still think the Chiefs are a better ball club. If you take out, home field advantage here, they are half-point favorite in this spot. So the Colts are already making excuses for Daniel Jones. They're saying, he's got a sneak fake calf injury. I fucking bet. They're already making up excuses for the guy. If I was a betting man, I would say I think Andy Reid finds a way to take Jonathan Taylor out of this game, limit the run, and you see Daniel Jones have to beat them, right? That's what I would do if I was the Chiefs. I'd say make Daniel Jones beat us. We're not letting Jonathan Taylor beat us. We're going to stack the box. We're going to do whatever we can to limit him. Sure, he might break 1 or 2. He's him, having an MVP type of season, but you got to let Daniel Jones beat you. And if that's the case, if they make the Colts win this game through the air, Jovan, I like our chances, man, with the Chiefs minus 3.5. Crazy line. The Colts are going to be the keep your brain turned off dog of the weekend, right? It's just a dog you take because everybody thinks they're good. They're 8-2. What a great story, right? Jovan, I'm not here for great stories. Okay, if I wanted a great story, I'd put on fucking Netflix. I'd watch a movie. I'm here to make money. I'm here to win. And I did not hear no bell with the Chiefs this weekend. They win by 10 plus. They cover the spread.
Yeah, and I'll add to it because, you covered it pretty well. I think the book is kind of out on Daniel Jones until they fix it. And it's really just stunt and blitz and get pressure up the middle. Everybody's been talking about that. What two coaches in the league, Krabs, or at least coordinators / coaches? I have my two. Which two would you say are probably the ones that you would love to cook up a nasty blitz package?
I mean, without a doubt, it has to be the fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, I would say Todd Bowles and Spags are the two coaches, hands down, no holds barred, that I would 100% trust in this spot. When the book is out on you have to attack an offense by crafting some exotic blitz package to get interior pressure. Those are the two guys. And I fucking hate Todd Bowles, but that's the one thing he's good at. Spags is elite at it, and he's done it for years. The book's out, and you're about to see it.
Could not agree more. Great point. Send the house. See how Daniel Jones reacts. The pick six says Krabs is a grown man. He doesn't need a story like it's bedtime. Correct. I also don't need a smoothie because I'm 27 years old. I cannot believe you guys are drinking smoothies in the Big 2-5. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Were you all in sweats last night?
Yeah.
When I made that call?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's just...
How do you get up in the morning, you trim your beard, you brush your teeth, you put your contacts in as a 20-plus-year-old man and order a smoothie that day?
Dude, it's like it's an in-between meal. Like it's a snack.
Couldn't be me. Bro, that is not a snack. Those things have like 1,000 calories in those puppies.
Well, it depends on what you put in it. Depends on what you put in it.
But it is a good meal replacement. It still fills you up.
There's a time and a place for a smoothie. Look, Carly says, yeah, if you're a woman, you won't see me eat a smoothie. You kidding me?
Okay. All right.
It's fruit.
Krabs, you drink V8. Yeah, V8 has nutrients. It has substance. It has vegetables.
Krabs.
That's the same shit, Krabs. It's just a smoothie is V8 with ice.
Bananas are good for you. Strawberries are good for you.
A smoothie is literally V8 blended with ice.
I'm taking V8 over a smoothie 10 times out of 10.
Krabs, your order was way more I'm a kid than any of ours. Mango Magic.
If I had to get one smoothie, I'm getting the Mango Magic.
Okay.
Smoothie king.
And
that shit's probably 1,500 calories and has 200% of your daily sugar intake.
What are you, 12?
Delicious. It's a good dessert.
When you get my age, Krabs, you'll understand.
When I get your age, Goots, maybe I will. Move on. Gosh, man. How do you look yourself in a mirror ordering a smoothie as a man? Couldn't be me.
No.
Couldn't be me.
Let's get some dogs, man.
Let's talk about some dogs. Jovan, this might be crazy. I think the Cowboys make the playoffs this year. Would that be a crazy thing to say?
No.
Goots, maybe in the back end. Can you fire those computers?
Not yet.
Fire up those algos. Give me some odds on the Cowboys to make the playoffs because I kind of want to lock them in. Give me the Cowboys to hand the Eagles a loss. Yep, I'm fading the Eagles again. I did not hear no bell. This team sucks. You got A.J. Brown throwing Saquon under the bus in the media this week. They're talking about A.J. Brown. He's saying, well, if I'm not myself from last year, I guess Saquon's not either. What a terrible person. Not even a teammate. Terrible person A.J. Brown is. And he's saying that with a smirk on his face. Bad guy.
Actually fun.
Bad guy. That's a crazy line, bro. If I was Saquon, who's a family man, a good dude, smart guy, like I'd be like, dude, you're the worst teammate I have ever seen in my life. Give me the Cowboys. The Eagles are a dumpster fire. They're the most fraudulent 8-2 team I have seen besides the Colts in the NFL this season. They've won 4 handout games in a row. 4 handout games in a row. Dude, this team is not good. I'm tired of it. And the Cowboys are going to expose them. If there's one thing that's good about the Eagles, Jovan, it's their defense. I'll give them credit. Their defense is starting to lock in. Their D-line is pretty freaking solid. And their defense is starting to look like that championship defense from last year. I will give them that. But if there's one team that can slice and dice them up, it's Dak Prescott. It's the Cowboys. It's CD. It's George Pickens, who, by the way, is the best wide receiver in the NFL. You heard it here first. He is. CD's thrown up at the Red Rock at 7:30 a.m., going out there, getting 60 yards and a touchdown. George Pickens is the best wide receiver in the NFL. If you disagree, you are wrong. You're wrong. The Eagles are going to struggle in this game defensively for the first time in 2 months. And you're going to see the Cowboys win this game outright. I might just take them on the ML, but for this segment, I'll take the +3. I'll take the field goal. At home, they get back to 500, the Cowboys do this week, Jovan, and they're on their way to the playoffs. Goots, can I get some odds? Plus a foul. Wow. That's freer than the Surge 6. Plus 1,000. I'm just locking the Cowboys to freaking make the playoffs.
Crazy part is, like, I think this is people want to bitch that you have no reasoning behind taking it and there's no possible way for this to hit. Stylistically, this is the toughest matchup in football for the Eagles. Toughest one on their schedule. You want to know why? Because the teams that have beat the Eagles or make their offense look like absolute dog shit and even won the games, all they do is play zone. Jalen Hurts has beat man coverage at a little bit higher of a rate, but he's looked god-awful against zone. Not only the Cowboys' defense back and healthier after last week, we saw what their defense could be, granted against a shit offense, but healthier, they look great. But they play the most zone coverage in the league. And you saw the first time they played, their defense was significantly more injured and worse than it is now. And they still had that offense in the box for 3 quarters, let's say. So, I mean, this is kind of a tough matchup. People don't realize that.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Cowboys went outright. Sprinkle on the ML chat. Sprinkle on the ML chat. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Want to hear about the Cardinals? Oh, you're taking Brissett. Oh, boy.
Taking Brissett. Set some records. But the only reason why I did it is because they were getting fucking nucked from the start last week. They got absolutely dominated. On the contrary, I mean, one of the most impressive performances of the week, I would say, was the Jags and what they did to the Chargers. And not just destroying them, but they put up 35 pretty comfortably against that defense, which I know the Chargers are pretty banged up at almost every level, more so on like the offensive line than on the defensive side of the ball, but a little banged up. They tore through that defense like a hot knife through butter. Shout out T-Law. But just as we've learned over the last couple of weeks, the second you buy in on the Jags is when they let you down. The second you kind of sell on the Jags, they come back and they have a performance like that against the Chargers. I think the Cardinals are a weird matchup for them because the Cardinals, you kind of got to beat over the top a little bit. And the Jags have had a lot of success over the middle of the field, whether it's been Parker Washington, like even going back earlier this season with the tight ends. But like the sore spot of this team for a while now has been having like a vertical option that's worth a shit consistently. I love BTJ, but he's been hurt off the field. I believe he's supposed to be playing this week, but God knows what that's going to be. We'll find out, I'm sure, in the next 24 hours or so. But when you're forced, and the same thing happened to Liam Cohn's offense in Tampa, when you're forced to have an over-the-top option against a defense that does pretty well over the middle of the field, consistency's not there. That's where the offense kind of breaks down. And I think that's one of the sticking points potentially to your under, too, in this game. So I like that. I think the Cardinals defense stands up in this game and has a really good performance. So the Jags offense is a much different matchup than the Niners. And I think the Jags and T-Law, as much as I love them, are going to struggle in this game. The Cards pull off the upset.
Love it. Dog in the under. And yeah, Ethan, I'm fading your Eagles once again. He's probably doing backflips and cartwheels in the office right now. Okay. How can the Cowboys make the playoffs playing against the Lions, Chiefs, and Eagles? They win 2 of those 3 games. They shock the world. And the next thing you know, they're plus 100 to make the playoffs instead of plus 1,000. Mark it down, Adam. Bookmark
plus 1,000.
Bookmark it. There's some serious value there. Plus 1,000. You're telling me they got the hardest schedule remaining in the NFL and they're only plus 1,000 to make the playoffs when they're under 500 right now? That tells me we are getting a Cowboys win this week, and maybe the Cowboys do make the playoffs. That's short, in my opinion, with their schedule. Freeze says Krabs 0-6 fitting the Eagles. That's just not true. I would love to see that tracking. I'd love to see that Google Doc, the Google Sheets. Could not be less true, Freeze. Just making shit up. Just making shit up. Lazy take. All right.
Giants on Thursday night.
Yep.
Remember that
Lazy
one?
take. Lazy take from the boys. Bruce as well. Says I'm 0-11 when fading the Eagles. Could not be less true.
I think you called it your favorite bet of the NFL season at that point. The Giants against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, and they won by 20 points or whatever it was.
Oh, man. And I took the Eagles in the Super Bowl and said it was going to be free just like you. I'm here to give out winners. I'm not here to just fade teams in my division. Give me a break. All right. Eagles fans get so butthurt when you fade their team. Goes to show you they're a little insecure about their roster this year, right? If they were confident, they would not be so pissed off or butthurt
Dude,
Let
they're
old Krabs gain their
confident. Say,
tape.
fucking let's go. I wouldn't say a word. I'd say keep doing it.
Right. Right. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Also, is Travis Etienne playing this weekend?
I don't know. That whole backfield between him and Tootin banged up. I don't know what the story is, but a lot more reason why there's probably going to be a lot more onus on the pass game that I don't think he's going to do too well, causing problems.
They have a Tootin normal touchdown square on Prize Picks this weekend.
Yeah,
it's crazy. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some meat. 2 words, chat. Meat. If Shedeur Sanders wins his first start of his NFL career, I don't know ball. Everything I've been saying over the last couple of years, wrong, means nothing. I'm willing to bet that Shedeur Sanders looks like a bozo in the pocket against the Raiders, which you could say it's a hot take. You could say it's not. You could say it's square. You could say it's sharp because he's facing a atrocious defense in the Raiders. Don't care. Shedeur Sanders is not an NFL quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is going to get mollywopped in this game by Max Crosby and the Raiders. And the Raiders, after getting destroyed by the Cowboys in their last game, are going to come out victorious in this game and win by 10 points. Final score in this one is going to be 17-7. And the only touchdown from the Browns, it might be a pick 6 from Geno Smith. I'll say it right now. Give me the -3.5. Great survivor pick as well for the Raiders. Shedeur Sanders struggles immensely against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And the Raiders win this game easily and finally stop the bleeding after they got embarrassed on primetime in their last game. Give me the Raiders.
Perfect timing, Krabs. Perfect timing. Seahawks are dropping that this weekend.
Right.
It is what it is. Sneaky, 2 straight covers for the Titans, as bad as they've been. ATS, as much coin as they've costed throughout the season to this point. They held their own against the Chargers, and they held their own, unlike what the Bills could do last night against Davis Mills and that Texans team. And it's actually come pretty surprisingly, I guess. They haven't been bad against the run. And I know the Chargers were dealing with a bunch of injuries. I think Jarrett Patterson was their leading rusher in that game, which was hilarious. Or it might have actually been Herbert. But followed that up. They held Woody Marks to 40 yards on 20 carries. So he was incredibly inefficient. Enter Clint Kubiak, which if there's any guy, probably not named Liam Cohn, that I love to craft up something in the run game against a rush defense that's actually been better than expected the last couple of weeks, it's him. I think Kenneth Walker and you got Sharp have an absolute field day, especially because you got Sam Darnold coming off a game where he threw 4 picks, Krabs. That was your Super Bowl type game. He looked absolutely horrid against a really good defense, one of the better defenses in all of football, maybe the best. You can even make the argument. But you ain't going to have to throw the ball too much in this one, let me tell you. I think you're going to get 200 rushing yards from this team. I think they're about to lay Nuck, and after incredible 2 showings from the Titans, party's over. This one's a 20-point game.
Okay. Charbonnet legacy game. You can go ahead and keep Kenneth Walker out of your sell job. Charbonnet legacy game. 2 touchdowns. I'll be starting him in fantasy this week.
They both might score twice. I'll say it.
Okay. Yeah, run the rock, Seattle. They win this game easily. I'm with you on that. All right. W, meat on tape. Let's power through some prize pick squares. Thought about taking that Tootin touchdown square, but I'll stick with these. Pat Mahomes ain't throwing a pick this weekend against the Colts. If he throws a pick against that Colts secondary, he ain't the QB we thought he was. He ain't the future Hall of Famer. He ain't the GOAT. Pat Mahomes ain't throwing a pick in this game. He's taking accountability. He's saying, hey, the teams are playing a ton of zone against us, and until we beat them with the deep ball, they're going to keep playing zone against us. And I think he locks in this weekend, Jovan, and I think Mahomes stays out of the pick column for the first time in a month. It's been a bad couple weeks for Mahomes, man. It's been a bad couple weeks for the Chiefs. I think Mahomes goes out there, dominates, has a vintage legacy game against the Colts, and they win by 10+, and he does not throw a pick. Trey McBride. Shout out you, shout out Trent. This square, man. The season-long square, excuse me. One of the freest squares in all the lands. Cashed a couple weeks ago, I believe. He's got 7 or 8 touchdowns so far this season. He scored 5 weeks in a row. He's been Jacoby Brissett's main man as well. But In a game I love the under in, McBride does not score. He does not find pay dirt in this game for the first time in a month and a half. I'll take his less than half a touchdown. Probably the greenest, freest looking square on the board. Fade it and make points.
This is growth, Krabs. Seeing no Devontae Adams up here. Love it.
Well, it's a goblin. And he's scoring.
It's a goblin now. It was a normal square. I was looking through last night.
It's a goblin today.
Wow.
He's already scored.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he might score 3 times against Todd Bowles. Shout out Todd. Never
seen a guy hate a great coach more than you. It's impressive.
Right now, I can't do it, man. Right now, it's really bad.
Okay.
Is what it is, though. On my squares. Shout out Goots. Tyrod's gonna be chucking rock, which I took this one. The only other start he made, it was against the Bucks. Similar type matchup, tough run defense, a little more vulnerable in the secondary, which maybe that's changed a little bit because the Ravens defense seems to be getting going as of late, but they're so much more willing to let Tyrod sling the rock a billion times when it comes to him under center instead of Justin Fields for pretty obvious reasons. But I also think they trust him a lot more to take what's in front of him rather than like Justin Fields is boom bust, throw it down the field. He doesn't really take very many checkdowns, obviously. So like when you're probably going to be playing from behind in this game for at least a little bit, the game might be closer than you'd expect, but still think they're going to have a trailing game script for 99% of the game. He's going to be chucking fucking rock. Ain't no windy Green Bay conditions to hog this one down. Tyrod's chucking rock. Then Sam Darnold ain't throwing a fucking pick, man.
Okay.
This is, I don't take him as much as you, but my confidence on this one is probably the same as your Tua play of year confidence.
Whoa.
He is not throwing one because he doesn't have to throw one. They are going to drop knuckle in this game with 35 rush attempts from Sharp and Kenneth Walker. And I also think when he do throw it through the air, matchups are just green across the field. It's not a hot take because they're playing the Titans, but I think that game is belt ass. Darnold bounces back, has a solid performance with the 15 times he has to throw the ball.
Yeah, this might be more like a rugby type of game from the 1900s where the QBs don't even throw the ball. Just run the rock every time.
Yeah, could be.
I'm in. All right, let's move. Let's groove. W squares. I also like Tyrod not to throw a pick. I like his less than half a pick. He was talking about how he's proved himself time and time again in this league. He was getting emotional in the media this week, talking about how he's hung around and proven that he's a quarterback. You know, the Ravens trying to make him a wide receiver. He's still butthurt about it. And he's probably going to have a legacy game against Goots' Ravens this weekend. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? All right. Let's move. Let's groove. W prize pick squares. I don't think I have any honorable mentions in the NFL this week. We could probably just get to the squad ride. Jovan, do you? I mean, maybe the Rams?
Yeah, Rams are free.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
But probably won't have another honorable mention. I'll look too many things except for Monday. I really want to take Bryce Young, but we'll get to that on Monday.
Awesome. Bookmark that puppy. All right, Goots. WBTL so far. Do me a favor. Let's finish strong. Run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. Sure. All right. Let's reset the brains here. Let's go back to tonight's slate. Cincy has to go in here, Jovan. I'm putting foot down. That's a winner.
Okay.
That's a winner. Cincy has to go in here. I'm going to check the line and see what they're at right now. I saw some 8.5s earlier, but I want to make sure that it's still consensus 9.5. It might not be. It's half and half. What should we do? The two green and blue are both 9.5. The other ones are 8.5.
Let me see. I'm getting 8.5.
You're getting 8.5?
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. They're going to win outright. Let's put 8.5.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's put 8.5. We're not here to screw people over. Cincy plus 8.5. Jovan, what's a play that's turning green tonight?
Text winning tonight.
Okay. Love that from you. Love that from you. Are we getting involved on the gridiron tonight?
I think we should. How are we doing that?
The
Knowles or the Bows? Or both?
I'm down for both.
I feel like we're... Or wait, no, that Campbell game's early, isn't it?
Yeah, it starts in an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel bad leaving Campbell out, but not if that gets
That's a winner. That could be an unofficial squad ride this afternoon.
Secret early squad ride.
Secret early squad ride. I'm in. Yeah, I'm down to take the gridiron plays, but I want to emphasize to chat here while we lock in the squad ride poll on Twitter that I'd say our basketball plays are more confident plays with Cincy Texas Tech.
Yeah, say so.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I absolutely love Cincinnati. Might be my favorite play all week. That'll be my king of the board play to stop the bleeding today. And your sell job on Texas Tech was beautiful. Beautiful. And I love fading Purdue. So I'm in 4 plays, 4 winners. You guys got 4 minutes. 4 plays, 4 winners. You guys got 4 minutes. Cincy plus 8.5. Texas Tech plus 3.5. Florida State minus 6.5. And Hawaii plus 3. 4 plays, 4 winners. 4 plays, 4 winners. Get involved. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Get involved.
Go, go, go.
Get involved. Okay. If you're looking for the poll, if you're saying, what the heck? Where's the poll? It's on Twitter. And you got about 3 minutes left. The link is in the chat. Get involved. Don't just sit there. Don't just sit there. Jovan, do you have a square you like in the Purdue or Texas Tech game or not?
No, I haven't dove into too much of those yet because they were just putting those up prior to us starting here.
Cool.
I'm gonna have to get in line. I'll definitely drop some squares in the feed for that game.
Yep.
Tell you where my brain immediately takes me though is probably the nastiest spot possible with Braden Smith assist fades.
Ooh. Okay. Nasty. I'm in. Add that to my card. I'm in. Chat 4 plays, 4 winners. Tyler, I'll answer that for Jovan here. Wisconsin. Jovan likes Wisconsin.
Let's go.
Wisconsin. Take the points. You might need them. Hopefully not. 4 plays, 4 winners, boys. You got 2 minutes left. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Everybody right now, click on the link in the chat. Do not just sit there. Don't be a me guy. Get involved in the poll, please. Every vote counts. All right. This is a democracy here. Get involved.
We actually do have a jazz wager, Trent. You might have missed that one. You probably like that one.
Rumor has it we got a Trent surge stream after this. Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure.
I'm shocked you didn't bring up that game, Krabs. UAB South Bama. Did you see that one?
Yeah. I did see that one. I kind of like South Alabama's.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I kind of think they just lay knock.
Wow.
I do.
Wow.
I do. Shaka said, I want to make it known that Trent bet me that Ovi would go 1 game without a shot on goal in the month of November. Ovi now has 8 goals in 10 games during November. # thank you, Trent. Ovi is on fire, Chaka. On fire. That's insane.
I'll tell you, though, you want an under, Krabs. I think it's tomorrow. They play the Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, after back-to-back 10-plus goal games, it has to be
back-to-back splooge fest. Hopefully Vasi starts that game, but
has to be bad.
That's going to be. They might shut out Bolts.
Yep. Get involved, chat. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Get those votes in. 4 plays, 4 winners. You got about a minute left in the squad ride poll on X. Okay, the link is in the chat. Get involved. 4 plays, 4 winners. Cincy plus 8.5. Texas Tech plus 3.5. Florida State minus 6.5. And Hawaii plus 3. Okay. Dubs. We are going to have BTL on Monday and Tuesday next week. The rest of the week is TBD, chat. So we will be here to start the week next week. We know that for sure. And we will figure out the rest of the week when we get a little bit closer. But we are locked in, confirmed for Monday and Tuesday. Okay. WBTL today. I'm going to have to bet the Jazz plus 900.
No.
Just for the vibes.
Yeah.
For the vibes. It's the NBA, bro. These guys don't give a hoot. They're probably out boozing until 3 a.m. like CD last night, the Thunder. Right?
The Red Raiders plus 3.5.
Wow. Okay. W Goots, Texas Tech plus 3.5 squad rides. Love that play. Fading a lawyer, fading Purdue. Sign me up, dude. Sign me up. Love that. All right, couple things, guys. Go back and rewatch the coin toss if you missed it yesterday. Stick around for the Surge stream. Right after this, Trent is back in the saddle, hosting his Surge stream right after this. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Be on the lookout for meet sheets. Be on the lookout for college football and NFL. weekend preview graphics that are going to be posted on the BTL feed as well. Just stay posted. Make sure you guys have the notice on for the Bookit BTL X account and check the feed for winners all weekend. Okay, I'm moving today and tomorrow still, but going to find some time. Make sure we lock in all the weekend stuff for you guys. We'll get you right because, hey, cannot take off this weekend. It is slate of the year. Excited for it.
That's just
excited for it. All right. Go get you guys some real lunch like a man. Go get some beef jerky. No smoothies in sight. We will